So we have some fresh patch notes with features and balancing that should be coming out next Tuesday, most likely between 10 AM to 12 PM GMT based on the last few patches. Before getting into it, remember to join my Discord if you haven't already. There will be something interesting happening in there soon. And also there are memberships available where you can get some cool emotes for comments and live stream chat, as well as a few other perks. But first up is Revenant is coming next week. We don't have any footage of him right now, so I'll just have to read out the abilities. His passive is Bounty Hunter. He starts with a rank in Hellfire rounds, which is another ability I'll cover shortly. He doesn't shoot faster with attack speed, but he does gain 5% plus 1.5% per level and 0.1% per critical strike chance bonus physical power. Also, when Revenant kills an enemy hero, he gains an extra 50 gold plus 25 additional gold per bounty stack. His primary ability is Obliterate. He fires 10 missiles that home in and hit random targets in a cone, and if the same target gets hit again, they will take 15% extra damage. His secondary ability is Scar, launching a dark projectile marking the target if it hits them, dealing damage but also meaning for 5 seconds, instances of damage dealt by Revenant apply a 5% stacking slow for 1.25 seconds, as well as dealing 15% extra magic damage. Now we come to his alternate ability, Hellfire rounds. His fourth shot always crits and deals 6% plus 0.5% of the target's missing health as bonus physical damage. His critical strikes are also modified based on rank to scale his critical damage. The active use of this ability means he instantly reloads his hand cannon. The reload time can be decreased with attack speed. And finally, his ultimate ability, which for old Paragon players will be a surprise to nobody, is Reckoning. He will put the target into the Nether Realm and root them for 0.5 seconds. If he kills them inside the Nether Realm, he will gain double the gold from Bounty Hunter. To me, it sounds like you want to mark an enemy with his Scar, follow it up with his Obliterate ability, and then maybe finish them off with the ultimate to gain the extra gold. His playstyle seems fairly simple on paper. The biggest thing I think will be trying to find the balance of attack speed and power to optimize the reloading, as well as finding out if you are better off with a varied build with less crit chance, for example 60 or 80% to get some better passives from, let's say, Infernum or Demon Edge. Overall, I think he will be picked in every role as usual when a new hero comes out, so prepare yourself for some weird picks. If I don't see Revenant jungle, I will be surprised. Let me know what you think of his kit so far. Now for a few features that will be added. We will now have access to the profile tab and to the early access icons, and it looks like in the future we'll be getting extras like borders, titles, and profile backgrounds. In this patch we are also getting creep score bounties, which is where if an enemy has got quite a lot of kills to get a bounty, you will also get extra based on how much CS they have ahead of your team's average. I am a bit unsure on this because it does make sense to a degree, but at the same time, if someone is good at farming and they have used this to gain kills, it seems odd to me in a sense to punish them for being good at farming. I guess it really comes down to how much of a bonus it gives and how ahead they have to be for it to be active really. It's probably less of an issue than I think. Maybe once it's released they will give us some numbers so we can see how it works. Post-match screens are also coming, which will be huge for me. I really like to see the damage dealt, tanked, healed, etc. It's all really useful info to see how much of an impact players have in a game. Hopefully this also includes post-game reports too, or at least it should do in the future, as I'm definitely one to forget to do it if I'm busy playing. There will be weekly leaderboards. If you play 10 games or more you will be counted for this. I assume it's based off win rate. There will also be an end of game survey to allow you to rate the match you just played, as well as the time it took to find it. They are also patching the matchmaking itself. It seems like we were likely getting the wrong people in our games occasionally, which would explain some of the games I get when I'm live streaming. Long story short, it was putting people where they shouldn't be by accident and also adjusting MMR wrongly in some occasions. The penalty systems are also changing a little. I'll let you pause to read these rather than reading it all out. They are changing the AFK and Q dodge penalties. The same time frame applies, so you need to not AFK or dodge for 7 days for these timers to reset. And similarly, chat toxicity will be monitored more going forward, and the punishments for repeat offenders sound like they will be getting more harsh. There are a few other improvements here, which again I'll let you read here rather than rattling them all off. Now moving on to balance. Countess, and take a deep breath here, it's okay, she's not getting nerfed again. She's had her jungle camp start changed from red to blue, that's it. You can put your fist down now. Crunch has had his re-crunch passive changed so that he can't heal from minions anymore. I am so glad this has finally come. I've been saying this for weeks and I can't wait for this to go live. In lane, it was one of the most oppressive passives in the game because you basically couldn't trade with him after level 6 unless you could 100% kill him or he would just heal back up from the wave. Which meant most of the damage you just did would just get healed back up while you sit there like, damn, I wish I had more health potions. Faye is being changed a little. Her Q ability has been buffed early game but nerfed late. Her E has been buffed a little early but nerfed late, but also had the scaling reduced a little bit and had the projectile speed increased. Her ultimate has had a bug fix and had the break distance reduced by quite a bit as well as increasing the pull delay. I think this will make Faye better for early on poking but make her ultimate less of a threat, as it sounds like now people will get the chance to break out of it before being pulled, but they will have to be quick about it. Gideon has had his Q buffed across the board in base damage but reduced in scaling. His right mouse button has been reduced in scaling but now has scaling cooldowns instead of a flat 9 seconds. Howitzer has been changed in a few aspects. His Q missile delay after firing has been reduced by 0.2 seconds. His slow grenades have been reduced in the amount of grenades and the spread has also been reduced. The base damage has been increased as well as the scaling to compensate for the loss in numbers. I think this will make Howitzer feel a bit more fair to play against while still allowing him to be strong in mid lane. Howitzer as both an enemy laner or gank target as a jungler, he had a huge minefield to slow you trying to approach, and failing that he can just bounce you away, not accounting for his ultimate as another potential escape option. I think having to be smarter with the grenades and the previous balance patch with his mine will hopefully make him feel a bit more open for ganks. Belica is getting tweaked a little, decreasing her lockout when using her Q by 0.2 seconds, as well as fixing her drone damage as it was bugged. Now maybe once her drone is fixed and this tweak to her Q, she will feel a bit better to me. I had people screaming at me saying her drone was really good, I said it felt kind of weak, and if it was bugged, now I know why. I'll give it another week or so after the patch and then maybe I will move her from the D tier if she feels a bit better now. Now it's time to look at items. Alchemical Rod and Azure are getting a bit of a beating. Both of these will be reduced in mana per stack from 8 to 4, which will reduce their total magical power given when built to Azure by quite a bit, meaning most likely it won't be built on all mid laners anymore. Bloodlust is being renamed Bloodletter as it had the same name as Grux's passive. Mindrazor is having its passive renamed as it did stack with Vanquisher, but people weren't sure because the passives were named the same. Astral Catalyst is having a description bug fix. Combustion is having its mana increase from 200 to 300. Lifebinder is getting changed quite heavily. Magical power increased from 50 to 60. Magical lifesteal reduced from 15% to 10%. Tenacity removed. 10% ability haste added. The recipe is also being changed, and it's also being given a new passive. You gain 0.5% of your bonus health as ability haste per 50 magical power. So for heroes like Sevarog, Richter, etc., this might be a good option now. We'll just have to see how it's actually going to be used when it gets changed. Golem's Gift is being altered, nerfing the magical power by 10 down to 60, ability haste increased by 10 to 20, renaming the passive to Stone Skin as well as tweaking the passive. Total magical power and physical armor decrease to 30, but you do lose stacks slower per instance of damage taken, down to 6 from 10. So this should make it a better pick now, as while the power and armor is lower, it should actually stay longer. It would now take 5 hits instead of 4, which means overall you should take less damage and deal more damage in that window. Oblivion Crown is being nerfed quite a bit. Its magical power bonus reduced from 35% to 15%. But it is gaining a new passive, meaning your next instance of ability damage against an enemy hero deals 8% of their current health as magical damage, plus it will increase their magical damage taken by 10% for 3 seconds. It's quite a heavy nerf on the bonus magical power, but with the second passive I think it will probably even it back out. I can imagine on heroes like Belica that this is a must-have now to couple it with a combo plus ultimate, as well as assassins like Countess. Prophecy is getting a bug fix on the description. Tainted Scepter is being buffed slightly, base damage per stack increased by 1, and also added in 1% magical power scaling per stack. I think this will make it a slightly more attractive option as I didn't see too many people building it. And before someone says people build it all the time, honestly I think this must be an NAEU thing, because I barely see other people use it, but I've seen other people say they see it all the time. Viper is being bug fixed, power reduced to 40, as well as having the description fixed. Leviathan's passive is being renamed to Tainted Bastion, so every item has a taint now. You heard it here first. If you want taints, this game's got them. There are quite a lot of bug fixes which will also just let scroll rather than trying to read them myself and ending up sounding like a horse race commentator by the end of it. This patch overall seems like it's got quite a lot of good stuff in it, from a new hero, new features, as well as a few smaller balance tweaks. My only concern really out of all of it was the CS bounty, but it will honestly depend on the activation threshold for it, and I imagine it must be quite a bit. But I really want to see those end of game screens, and we are now moving towards more customization for our profiles. So in a month or 2 months from now, I'd imagine we will be seeing the first skins being added, either that or some form of progression for accounts. Let me know what you think of the patch and Revenant's kit in the comments section below, and I hope to see you on Tuesday for some matches. And with that, I will see you for the next video.